what would happen? In this case, the Supreme Court would say that consultation is equal to concurrence. See the imagination part. Okay, consultation is concurrence. It is not mere exchange of view, rather you have to take permission. Only and only if we say that this particular person has to be appointed, then only he can be appointed. Otherwise, it is not consultation. Okay, and advice of the CJI is binding on the president. So here starts the formal structure of the collegium, which was basically something like the CJI plus 2 senior most judges. But then there was also ambiguity, whether this is the collegium or whether this is the final, shape of the collegium. Okay, 1993, if you see, this is the era of judicial activism. There are multiple factors which gives birth to judicial activism. We'll talk about it. One of them is coalition era. When the executive and the legislature is not strong enough, then judiciary becomes the guardian of people. At the same time, the LPG reforms, education level in India is, empowerment of people is increasing. Society is becoming more vociferous. So the Indian judiciary is having a golden period. So interpretation saying CJI plus 2 judges. But the point is, this was not also a concrete shaped model. So in the third judge case, that is in 1998, which is a reference case. You know reference case? Article 143, we talked about reference cases. So in a third judge case, which was a reference case, it was asked by the executive to the judiciary that please make clear what is this collegium. यहीं अपना गड्ढा खोद दिया executive ने. Supreme Court said, see, consultation is not mere a singular consultation of the CJI. Consultation here means consultation with plurality of judges, and it is not only consultation, it is concurrence. It means plurality of judges will say about a name and you are bound to follow that name for appointment, and the structure for that would be the CJI, the Chief Justice of India, followed by 4 most senior judges. Here comes the shape for collegium system, and here starts the dictation of the judiciary in judicial appointments. Okay, but you know, there will be criticism, there will be evolution, people will talk about it, that why are you doing so in India. So a 4th judge case came. Well, this is a very informal name. The first 3 are more formal in nature. The NJAC case, the National Judicial Appointment Commission Act case, is also called as the 4th judge case, which was introduced through the 99th Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, it's tried to make a body which has the participation of judiciary, but then also with some outer member and the executive. But the NJAC was declared as null and void based on 2 principles. Number 1 is independency of judiciary, and number 2 is primacy of judiciary in judicial appointment. And both were declared as basic structure of constitution. Now you see the second point, primacy of the judiciary in judicial appointment was a new feature. We have never heard about it. It was a new feature brought in by the Supreme Court. Okay, but with the NJAC being declared null and void, we came back to the collegium system, but parallelly we are negotiating about a MOP. Okay, and that could be the future of judicial appointment. Got it? Clear? The appointment of judges, collegium system. So the consultation is concurrence. Collegium consists of the CJI plus 4 senior most judges in case of Supreme Court. Okay, we'll talk about in High Court, wherein the 4 judges will be reduced to 2 judges. Okay. Let's talk about the qualification of the judges. Okay, there are basically 2 qualifications. One is that he must be a citizen of India, and the other is more about some conditions which are required to occupy that position. So what are the conditions? There are 3 conditions here. Number 1 is that the person must be a judge of a high court or high courts in succession. यहाँ 2-4 high court में for a period of 5 years. or an advocate of a high court or high court in succession for 10 years. See, judge is a more qualified person, तो 5 साल. Advocate थोड़ा सा नीचे तो, but advocate ज्यादा पैसा कमाते हैं compared to a judge. Okay. And the third one is distinguished jurist in the opinion of the president. Now tell me, is it the subjective opinion of the president? If the president thinks this person is an exceptional jurist, can he appoint? Why are you thinking so much? We discussed about 3 positions in which there is situational discretion. Is it one of them? No, it is not. It means aid and advice of Council of Minister. See, they may ask you n number of points saying that this is subjective discretion of president. You just need to remember 3. इसको छोड़ के बाकी जो कुछ भी है, whatever it is, everything is through aid and advice of Council of Minister. President, refer your notes to President chapter, 3 points. So distinguished jurist. Okay, when you come to High Court, you will see that the last point is not there. There is no provision of a distinguished jurist in case of a state High Court judge appointment. Which one? This is qualification, not appointment. The appointment will be given by the collegium system. Distinguished jurist will be suggested by the executive to the president, and the president will say this particular person is a distinguished jurist who can be appointed. Okay, see, actually there is a process wherein there are many things which happens between the executive and the judiciary, especially the collegium, when there is an appointment. It's a complex process. You don't need to go into the nitty-gritty of it. Just remember, whenever there is an appointment to the position of judges, it is always the consultation, which is concurrence of the collegium, and the collegium is CJI plus 4 senior most judges. Here we are talking about qualification. What are the qualification if someone has to be referred by that collegium? Okay, 2 conditions are, one is like judge of a high court for 5-year term, another is advocate for 10-year term high court, and the third one is a distinguished jurist. So there is also a role of the executive in that consultation process. That is what we are talking about. Got it? See, the MOP talks about a provision that, I mean, it was in a term of reference, you can say that if a person has submitted a wrong affidavit, then he can also be punished. Even people can talk about or can refer about this exceptional jurist condition. People can also suggest with a affidavit. But these are the things which are now on negotiation point. You don't need to get into it. Only when we'll get a final product, final notification that this is the MOP and this is replacing the collegium, then only we'll get to know what are the points inside it. Okay, there are many conditions in it. Fine. Let's come to oath and affirmation. See, before the judge occupies the seat, before the person occupies the seat of a judge of Supreme Court, he has to subscribe to an oath or affirmation before the president or a person so appointed by the president for the job, in wherein he swears 4 things. Number 1, to bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution. Number 2, to uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India. Number 3 is duly and faithfully, to the best of his abilities, knowledge and judgment, perform the duties of the office without fear or favor, affection or ill will. And the 4th one is to uphold the Constitution and the law. Now these 4 points are same for a High Court judge as well. Okay, they may not ask you oath and affirmation, but it is no harm to know the text of Constitution. Okay, let's come to salaries and allowances. Okay, रटने मत बैठ जाना 1 लाख रुपया मिलता है कि 1.5 लाख रुपया मिलता है. That is not at all needed. Okay, what is needed is the salary and the allowances of the judges are determined from time to time by the parliament. Now the point is, if it is decided by the parliament, can the parliament then somehow incline in some way the judges? No, they cannot. Because once that is fixed, it cannot be changed to their disadvantages. You pushed for a judge with a good salary. You thought that he is going to deliver every judgment in your favor. Now you found out Now he is not delivering the judgments in our favor. Let's reduce his salary. So, so you cannot change the salaries and allowances to the disadvantage of the person post appointment. You can change it for another judge when you are doing it again from time to time. Okay, it is not a judge to judge base actually. And the third thing is it is charged on the Consolidated Fund of India, the salary, allowances as well as pension. Remember this, that is because when we'll be reading the judges of High Court, we'll come to know that the pension is charged from Consolidated Fund of India and not state.